I'm Mona, and I'm the team lead for this project. I'm an environmental engineering major that's interested in bioelectronics and bio.
Hi, I'm Jaquela Burks. I am on the hardware team. I am a freshman computer science major, and my interests are in web dev and back-end development.
Hi, my name is Heather Joseph. I'm also on the hardware team. I'm a freshman biomedical engineering student, and my interests include bioinformatics and biomedical engineering with a focus in computer science.
Hi, I'm Chloe Alzaga. I'm a freshman computer science major who's interested in data analytics, and I'm part of the software.
Hello, my name is Arsha Puri. I'm also part of the software team. I am a CS freshman, and I'm interested in cybersecurity and data analytics.
So for this project, we decided that we would be tackling anxiety, which is a common emotion that most people will feel at least once in their life. According to a study done in 2019, the two most common mental health problems are anxiety and depression, which is the top of the list for causing burden to the world. And so because of that, we decided that we were going to use biosensors, which take the biological response or chemical reaction from your body, and that we would use a galvanic skin response sensor.
So our goal of our project is to spread awareness of anxiety disorders and to have an accessible anxiety tracker for those who can't be diagnosed clinically for any factors. And it also serves as a stress log that can be used as a tool to help reduce anxiety before it hits.
So at the start of the year, we decided that our requirements were going to be revolving around two things, including accuracy and efficiency. So when it comes to accuracy, we decided that our website is going to be outputting precise stress data, and for efficiency, we really wanted to focus on user-friendliness.
So in order to combat anxiety and depressive disorders, our team chose to prototype a galvanic skin response, or a GSR sensor. This sensor reads electrodermal activity, or the skin's resistance levels, and our device will translate this data into graphical and tabular form onto a user interface. The user interface will categorize your stress levels into a low, moderate, or high, and will tell the user if you're having an exceedingly high stress level.
For our hardware, we decided that we would again be using the GSR, and for testing we used the Arduino microcontroller, but for the demo we used an ESP32 microcontroller. What the GSR sensor does is it measures the change in your skin's conductivity, and which comes from the sweat that your body produces. And for our design, we decided to put the microcontroller in a scrunchie to make it more wearable, and put in the electrodes are in finger sleeves that are constantly on the skin to collect the data.
In terms of our software, for the actual sensor, we use Arduino IDE to calibrate the sensor so it actually gets readings and we know the threshold, the readings. And then for our actual website, we use Python as the IDE, and we use Glass to develop our website.
So when it comes to putting the entire project together, obviously we're going to be integrating the hardware and software. So essentially there are 5 main steps for this. So step number 1 would be actually setting up the Flask server itself. And step number 2 is writing the Arduino code in order to read the sensor data. Step number 3 would be the serial communication between the Arduino and the Flask server. Step number 4 is to request handlers in order to output the right thresholds in order for the user to notice their stress levels. And last but not least, we would want to update the web interface dynamically.
So we faced a couple of challenges. Mainly, we're setting up our environment. We struggled with setting up PyCharm for weeks. We struggled merging our integrating our Flask, our Arduino IDE, and even the Python framework into the actual PyCharm IDE. We also worked with different approaches, for our integration methods. We worked with WebSocket, which utilized the ESP32 Wi-Fi connectivity to send data over a Wi-Fi connection to the interface, and we also used PySerial, but we had troubles with the virtual environment of PyCharm. We also faced some difficulties in the hardware, where especially during soldering, so we prevent any short circuits from happening. Okay, so you guys may be wondering why we're wearing these amazing scrunchies. Well, While you guys have been listening, we've been tracking Chloe's stress level. She is a computer science major and she's like very, very stressed with all her exams, especially finals. So this is basically here, we have our real-time data. As it decreases, it's decreasing. As it decreases, it means the user is more stressed. As it increases, it means that the user is like in a more relaxed state. So basically we, for our interface, we take a certain amount of like data just for a certain amount of time and we transfer that. We send that data over the serial port to our interface. So it was our interface now.
So here's our website, here's our homepage, obviously. So you can log in and sign up. We're going to pretend that we're a new user. So it's going to ask for your email and password as most websites do. And once you submit, it's going to ask for medical history. We wanted this for our future plans so we could just see what could be affecting your anxiety. And then once that submits, you are given your graph and your table of your stress levels.
And the way this works is essentially, for the first minute that you have the sensor on, it collects that data and establishes it as your threshold. Which, because sometimes, people sweat at different rates, and so it establishes that as your threshold, and then for every minute after, it compares it to your threshold and will decide whether your stress level is low, moderate, or high.
This threshold was based upon a study we found using a GSR sensor in 2012. From the study, we analyzed their data and found that an 8% difference from a relaxed state to a stress state would indicate abnormally high stress levels, which would cause for an alert. So what we did is around a 4% difference from your relaxed state in the first 5 minutes would indicate a moderately high stress level.
And then with this table, we wanted for our future plan that you're able to click on it and you log what is making you stress in order to eventually implement something that could give suggestions, or you could just look back on it and see a pattern.
So that was our demo, and for future plans for this project, we want to create a more wearable device, develop a mobile application, and incorporate artificial intelligence or machine learning. So with the wearable device, as you can see right now, our device is connected through a USB. Eventually we want to be able to make it battery powered, and this would increase the portability, wearability, and it would just make the device more accessible for users. And going along with accessibility and functionality, changing our web application to a mobile application would allow the user to actively see their stress levels like on their phone while they're going about their day. And then finally, we want to incorporate artificial intelligence or machine learning, and through that, we want to give the user specific and detailed feedback for what they can do to relieve their stress levels. So, and it would analyze your data and see trends, and based on the medical information that you input at the beginning of signing up, it would show some underlying relation based on your stress levels that were recorded.
Thank you guys for listening. Always remember,
Don't sweat it.
A couple questions from the audience, real quick. So, any questions for SweatSense? Yes.
Oh, so I'm really sorry. I had a question about I thought it was a really amazing device, really cool and innovative. However, what about temperature? Like outside temperature. If I'm out like in Alaska or something and it's cold, but I'm like really stressed, I may not sweat as much. Would the device be able to tell based on temperature or where I'm at? If I go into the hot room, I go into the cold room, whether I'm stressing more or less?
So basically, we decided that the sensor would have a general range from 0 to like in the 4,000. So because another common concern was, oh, what if you're just a sweaty person and you're just constantly sweating? And so what we decided is again to have the threshold for when you're wearing it, and then also to in the user manual to be like, oh, don't wear it while you're trying to work out and stuff because it won't be accurate data. And then also that if it goes outside of it can't go higher or lower than the outside of the range. So if you're sweating more than a normal amount that you would for just stress, it wouldn't track that.
To add on to that, when you're looking at your data, it also gives you an option to record what you were doing during that time. So that would, you can see like, oh, I was outside during this time, that's why my stress